stand, since everyone else does. I'm Amity Butler, principal at Franklin Elementary, 19 years in education. Over the time that I've been in education, things have dramatically shifted in Port Angeles. The school I started teaching at was a middle school, and it was not a Title I school. The school I moved to was a Title I school when I taught in elementary. Now we are all Title I schools, which basically means our free and reduced prices numbers have increased dramatically. Our community is suffering, much like many communities around here, and our schools have taken a huge hit. So over the last few years, I was in charge of many of the levy volunteer groups for the teachers, and we have failed a couple levies. We've passed most of our levies. Our maintenance and operations levy is the one we desperately have to pass, or we really, we don't subsist. We can't continue. So we have managed to do that, but it's also in competition with capital projects. We can't make plans for facilities that need to be increased. My school was slated to be closed 2 years ago. We were all prepared. We had the press calling, and what are you going to do, and what is your celebration going to be? And then, surprise, we have too many kids. We can't close because we don't have a place to put the kids. So I have about 400 students, and we didn't have enough room for them anywhere else. But our capital projects prior couldn't build a big enough school where we maybe could have gone. I mean, there's so many things in retrospect that had it been in a different position, it might have been a different story. I guess what I'd like to say first is budgets are priority lists. My school budget is certainly a priority list, my own building budget, and we set priorities, and that's how we pay for things. We pay for what is the most important to us. I sat down with my staff yesterday at our staff meeting and said, hey, I'm going to go to Port Townsend tomorrow. Help me. What do you think? What is the most important thing to paint a picture for people about what a building has felt like? What has happened to us and there are many teachers who've been teaching far longer than I in my building. The things that came to mind, and I'll try to paint a picture kind of our building. Class size, dramatic increases. We go from 3 third grades to 2 fourth grades. That just means we have very full 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classrooms. We made a transition of 2 middle schools to 1. So we have 1 7-8 school, and all of the 6th grades got pushed back into the elementaries. Ready or not, here you go. Not probably the ideal. No room for full-day kindergarten right now if we wanted to, because the 6th grades stayed. I happened to teach the 1 year we funded full-day kindergarten at the elementary I was there, at Dry Creek across. The next year I became a principal. Well, we only funded it for 1 year. So talk about kind of the families are planning, oh, they get 1 year of full day, but then, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do it anymore. We just couldn't find the funding. So I've sat on many committees, many school board meetings where we have this huge list of what's got to go. Is it our strings program? Is it band? Is it PE? Is it the lab sciences? What is it that's going to be cut that's an extra? Nobody thinks their programs are an extra, and I would argue they're not. That's part of basic funding, and we're not doing it. The number of teachers has dramatically decreased since I've been in Port Angeles. Certificated staff has gone down. We don't have as many teachers. Split classrooms, holy smokes. Talk about state testing, mandated grade level expectations, an intense test starting at grade 3, huge curriculum that we have purchased to try to manage the Common Core, which is now the next phase of testing. So the MSP is going out, the Common Core is coming in, we have 2 new curriculums to learn, and oh, by the way, you have to teach 2nd and 3rd grade this year, so please figure that out, good luck. I feel bad that our school board had to say that, but yikes, that teacher then is in a position to teach students at dramatically different levels. You already know they're dramatically different levels in a regular 1 grade classroom. Well, if you have a 2-3 and you're not planned for a 2-3, then you spend your summer trying to figure out how do you do that. So we do have splits. We don't want to have splits. We don't have full-day kindergarten anymore. We use our Title I funding to do what's called extended day. So 12 students in each elementary school are offered extended day, and it's on a rotating basis. Yes, it's great. Is it enough? Heavens no. Professional development. Well, I have an amazing staff. So just so you know, the people I work with are fantastic. Can't say enough for what they do. We help each other most of the time now with professional development. We do book studies. We've had 2 already this year. We're in the middle of our 2nd book study. We don't really go anywhere right now because that's a lot of money, and so we don't get a lot of outside. I would say we're still very progressive because we have fantastic people, but that has dramatically been cut. I don't have a counselor. None of our elementaries do. I have it right now, a grant-funded ESD counselor who will be gone at the end of this year, and I'm scared to death. She can do things that I can't do. By myself, my first year, there was no counselor. I can't go in and manage a conversation with a classroom. I don't have the time. There's just not enough of me, and there's no one else who has it either. So we don't have counselors funded through our basic ed, and we need them. The stories that I could tell you are heartbreaking. Technology. We get hand-me-down technology from Issaquah. Great. It's great technology for us, but it is definitely handed-down technology. I haven't had a new computer on my desk, just like my staff hasn't either. So we write grants. We try to get as much as we can through that. That's where we get most of our technology. People do a lot with what they can get. Field trips, grant funded completely. My building budget does not support field trips unless we can walk. I'm lucky, I'm in a school that can walk to the national park, we can walk to the art center, we can walk to the swimming pool, we can walk to the library. Well, the school I was at Dry Creek, you had a bus everywhere, so there was no way. All of these pieces, I guess they come down to trying to care for a staff that is asked to do monumentally more with less and less and less. And let's put on a good face for our families and a good face for our community, because that's what we're expected to do, and we're going to buck up and we're going to give up our planning time and we're going to work before school and after school and, you know, hope to heavens we make those kids move forward, but you're not going to get compensated anymore, in fact less. And your medical benefits are going up like everyone else's, so it's even less. And that compensation is a huge morale. It's a buster. I mean, it's really hard for me to even ask sometimes teachers, could you just, you know, do you mind doing this, or would you consider doing an after-school MSP math prep for those kids who really need a little bit extra time? Now, we spend our building budget for that. That's what I spend my building budget on, is to save money for certificated staff to help students after school. That's my priority. That's our staff's priority. It's not probably that way everywhere. I guess that in closing, transportation, you mentioned that. It has always boggled my mind, and it has been this way since I've been in Port Angeles. You know, we have all these inlets. And of course, transportation was as the crow flies for a long time. They've supposedly fixed that. However, we still have a 1 mile radius, walking, even if you have, you know, these highways going that somebody would have to cross. That's a problem. And the schools are dictated by transportation. So our 2 outlying schools, everybody gets out at 2 o'clock. Why? Because of busing. I'm lucky now that I'm a principal of a school that has a 2 o'clock dismissal and a 2:30 dismissal, so my younger kids leave at 2, then the buses come back, and they get my older kids at 2:30. That gives me another half hour of instruction that the outlying schools, the 2 outlier, don't. That's all because of busing. That seems crazy. You know, so priority lists. What is it that's most important? My building is falling apart. We blow fuses in my office quite often. It's number 8 in the panel in the custodial closet. That shouldn't be the case. You know, I can't run more technology because we don't have, we can't subsist on that. And I have a fantastic maintenance department, but you can only band-aid so many different things. So hopefully I painted a picture. I love my job. I love the students I work with. I have an amazing staff who continues to plug forward and provide amazing things for students, and we do. We do. Education is not failing our students. My 2 kids are getting a fantastic, one of them is at my school, one of them is at the middle school. My husband's a middle school math teacher, and teachers are working as hard as ever, and they are amazing people. So I'm just imploring our legislature as well to do their job. Thank you.